Hello, my name is Caitlin McDonald, and welcome to the most recent episode of the Social Speak podcast. I am so excited today. We are joined by SEO expert John McAlpin. Now, John works for Cardinal Digital Marketing. Founded in 2009, Cardinal Digital Marketing has been ranked number one of the fastest growing agency in the Southeast. In addition, they have consecutively been named on the Inc. 5000 list of fastest growing privately held companies in 2014 and 2015. Cardinal keeps pace with the rapidly shifting trends in digital marketing and develops engagement strategies that are not defined by a platform or a category, but leverage the best marketing vehicle to solve every unique challenge. They approach every situation with the client's customer in mind and measure success not by increased traffic or impressions, but instead higher client profits. Services offered include search engine optimization, pay-per-click advertising, social media marketing, mobile marketing, online reputation management, web analytics, and more. So our guest, John, is a technical SEO expert who's deeply engaged in the local and national SEO community. With over 15 years of web management experience, John has led digital strategy for many enterprise healthcare companies, such as Epic Health Services, Cornerstone Healthcare Group, and more. So let's give a warm welcome to John. Welcome, John. We're so excited to have you on the show today. I'm glad
to be here.
To kick things off, tell us a little bit about your background in digital marketing.
Sure. It actually started way back when I was 11. I started building websites when I was 11, just for fun. I thought it was something interesting I saw my dad doing. So I found W3 schools and started teaching myself how to do all that stuff. But the actual professional portion of my career, I started in the corporate side. Mostly in the tech field, international e-commerce, and then I moved into healthcare and fell in love immediately, leading full digital strategy for a healthcare company. And then from there, I transitioned to the agency life and never looked back, really. I love agency life. It's nice to get a little mix of everything.
Yes, it definitely is. There's always a new project to be working on.
Mm-hmm.
So John, a key aspect of Cardinal Digital focuses on SEO and search marketing. Can you describe how this differs from other types of digital marketing?
Sure. So SEM is a really interesting topic on its own. A lot of people get confused about the actual true definition of SEM. I've even heard people consider social media as a part of SEM. And so I think it's really important to know the difference. And so search engine marketing is any kind of marketing that has to do with the search engine. So specifically, people refer to it with paid search, like PPC or CPC, however you want to refer it to, or SEO. And so that's essentially search engine marketing. While things like social media channels have a search box, that's different than a search engine. It's important to note. And so search engine marketing really is just another form of inbound marketing. And what's unique about it compared to other things is you're capturing both people during the discovery phase, where there's no intent to purchase, and during the intent to purchase phase.
Great. Thank you for diving into that. So what current trends are you seeing for wellness practices with SEO and SEM in 2019?
Well, really what people are in healthcare are starting to do is find alternative ways for people to book appointments. Traditionally, it's, you make a call, and then we've developed further a few years back. Now we've got great technology to book appointments on the website. But now we're trying to find alternative ways to give people more options to book appointments. Something that we're doing is Google My Business is actually having features to help integrate their platforms so people don't need to visit your website to book an appointment. You can even text or even other direct links. There are some other third-party industry sites, like if there's like a directory that we can book appointments straight from there. I know, like, for example, in the restaurant space, Yelp, you can order straight from Yelp.
Right.
And so the future is hoping to get voice functionality working out. So all your home assistants to help book appointments. That's a deep future. I don't know if we're going to get there in 2019, but it's definitely an aim that I see a lot of people going towards.
That's pretty incredible. So I'd just be able to say, Alexa, schedule my appointment with this center, and and she'd be able to do it.
Right. And so I'm curious to see who actually, I predicted to see a specific company, not like a healthcare company, but a technology company developing an application, because there's a lot of partners with it who are trying to work together to develop this type of technology. So I see it being you sign up with a partner and they will add you to their list of preferred vendors, and then you will be able to be in a system. That's the place I see it going.
That is incredible. That's wonderful. Now, in a previous podcast episode, and this isn't something that we talked about previously, but in a previous podcast episode, one of our guests, Abby, was talking about how interactive websites is actually really helping out with SEO because people have more time on site. A lot of healthcare centers direct people off-site to do the scheduling and booking. Is it better to have the scheduling tool actually embedded on your website rather than directing someone off-site?
So that's an interesting topic because there's a couple of things that you want to think about here, not just your SEO interactivity, but also how you track conversions. A lot of people I'm seeing who have booking on their site are using an iframe, which means that your analytics script may not be able to track that. And so really it gets to the point where Google's focusing more on the user experience, and that's where people get that time on site type of metric. Right. And technically it's better to have people to book on your site versus go off, because it's less steps to take an action. But in a perfect world, we'd be able to develop our own software to have it on our site and have our own proprietary thing, but not everyone has those kind of resources. And so it's really however you can get the job done. An iframe can work. Just be careful with your tracking. See whoever you go with sends you the tracking if you have your own method of that. As marketers, it's hard for us because we don't always have the ability to track it. Cardinal specifically does a good job of working with a whole lot of vendors to make sure that we can get the information that you need. But a lot of agencies don't have those resources. So you have to really be careful.
Great. Yeah, great insights. All right, so let's jump to the next question. Are there any tactics that were expected to perform well or had a lot of hype but failed to really take hold in 2018?
Voice. I think voice was going to be a big one where people are like, it's the future, it's now. I've seen predictions that some data scientists are predicting that 50% of all searches are going to be voiced by next year. And I think these are funny stats because really people are getting confused between voice search and voice assistant.
Yes.
Asking for the weather, asking, a certain time or something like that. It's just, those are voice assistants, not voice search. And so right now we don't really have a good way to track search, because actually it's important to note that your Search Console data, a lot of those queries can be voiced, and Google doesn't tell you which ones are voiced yet. I'm sure they will, but they're not telling you right now. And it's also important to note that as far as asking questions that come from your website, all answers are first position featured snippets. So if you really wanted to be in voice, focus on getting those featured snippets ranking high. And it's important to know that featured snippets can appear anywhere in the SERP, but only 30% are in position 1.
Gotcha. Very interesting. So is there any way to be able to do research about how voice searches and the phrases and terminology that people are using in search differ from, me typing in to a search engine for something?
So as far as tracking or as far as optimizing? As
far as optimizing.
Sure. It's really just answering commonly asked questions that you think relate to your business. And as far as because anyone can really get a question answered, but that doesn't really lead to a conversion or help your branding at all. So if you really wanted to optimize for voice currently before the future hits, it's really answer the question as quickly as you can. 1 to 2 sentences, the question needs to be answered. And a lot of people they think about word count, not word quality. So they're trying to say, let's just add all these filler words, but really answer the question directly in the first 2 sentences. The rest of that page can be your filler content. In those first 2 sentences, see if you can work your brand name in. According to Dr. So-and-so at whatever your business name is, the flu can be treated early if symptoms caught early or something like that,
Right. Very interesting.
And that way, there's a brand recall there. They can go and search that later. Or if they just are searching that question online, they'll look deeper. They'll notice your name as a featured snippet. Like, I think that's who I heard that from, and they can follow through.
Awesome. So I assume that that's going to be one of the answers to this next question. But what are the top 3 things that a wellness center should be doing online to see a return from their SEM efforts?
Actually, it's not one of the 3 things.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I got some things that I think are actually more important foundational things that people need to worry about. As far as voice, yes, one of the things is focus on Q&A style format. Include all of your services, include all of your conditions on separate pages, and have a way to interlink them. Focus on your internal linking between them so that they can relate and people can learn more information.
Great.
One of the first things they need to do is focus on having clean citations. And for people that don't know, citations, that's just your directory listings. Think about Google My Business, Yelp. And then also think about your industry-specific citations.
Yes.
Rate My Doctor and things like that. These directories have a huge impact on voice search and how businesses appear. Having consistent citations. And so there's a lot of tools to help with this, or you can do it manually. It's a lot more work, but you can pay more to have a tool do it for you. There's a lot out there for it. So I think the biggest factor that wellness centers really need to focus on is the user experience. You can do SEO to a crap site, but if it doesn't convert and people are turned off by it, they can't navigate through it, it doesn't mean anything.
That is so important. You can put a Band-Aid on it, but it's not going to lead to the results that you need in the end. So great point there. And I feel as though Google, with its algorithms as well, it's ranking sites higher that have that positive user experience. People are staying on the site longer. They're going directly to it. So that's a great point. And then let's see, what is the top strategy that should be followed, but often marketing teams at these health and wellness centers get wrong, or other agencies just get wrong?
The SEO in me wants to say technical SEO, because that's the first thing I noticed is it's wrong. But really the biggest missed opportunity is having a holistic digital marketing strategy. It's having your teams too siloed doing their own things, not focusing on the same goals, or focusing on ways to achieve different tactics towards the same goal.
Yes.
So people aren't talking to each other. And specifically, they need to be blending UX, SEO, the technical side of SEO, PPC, social media, and their content strategy all into one. Repurpose your content for different channels.
That's great. So you work for Cardinal Digital, which is a full service agency and one of the top ranked inbound marketing agencies in the US. Tell us about your company and your services, because you do really merge all of those different silos together for work with your clients.
As a strategy partner, we like to use the term partner because it really is a relationship that we try to build. We try to build long-term collaborative relationships with national enterprise healthcare companies, because not one company is the same as the other, and everyone deserves a customized strategy. There's no, recycled formula for everyone. It's good to see what works best for everyone. And so along with our SEO team, we have a really strong paid media team and an extremely successful track record merging all of our tactics to blend into a really full, well thought out strategy.
Awesome. And are there any marketing strategies that your team is currently testing that you don't think many other agencies are implementing for their clients?
Sure. A lot of us are doing a lot of the same, one-off tactics and traditional SEO things, and same with paid media. But one of the things that we do best that I've seen, that I have not seen other agencies really focus on, is develop cutting-edge tracking software. We're trying to use every tool in the book to make sure that we can unlock the most insights so we can do the best action. Because really, we put the data in the hands of our clients. We'll give them, this is what we're seeing, these are our recommendations, and this is how we collaborate with our clients so that they are fully aware of every step and they can make the best decision possible because we give them the best information possible. And that can be anything from not just keyword tracking, but also heat map tracking and seeing how users are actually interacting on their site so we can have that full holistic UX experience.
Definitely. That's great. And then, John, is there anything that I should have asked, but I didn't?
Yes, a lot of questions. I don't know. I think you did a great job.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us. It has been such a pleasure learning about your experience, your take on SEO and SEM, and some of what Cardinal Digital is doing for their clients. So thank you again for joining us today.
Well, thanks so much for having me.
Great. Wow. Thank you to John for joining us today. He shared such wonderful information. And it's no wonder Cardinal Digital is such a top-ranked agency with talent like John. So we spoke today about optimizing your directory listings, including both services and conditions pages on your website, as well as how to increase your exposure for voice search by having an FAQ section on your website. All of these are simple tips that you'll be able to implement on your wellness website to help out with SEO and SEM. So thank you again for tuning in. Thank you to our guest, John, for joining us today. And I will see you on the next episode of the Social Speak podcast.